Okay. All right, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Midlands Gives Day. Woohoo! Look at that number. We're almost at 2.3 million, and it's not even 11:05. Woo! What do we say to that? Yay! Thank y'all for getting the word out. Thank you for all participating and giving. You can give as little as $10 up to whatever. The sky's the limit. Whatever you're feeling like doing today. I am Michelle Hardy, work with the Central Carolina Community Foundation. I am delighted to be here today. I get the privilege to help interview nonprofits for today, and we're going to be in the areas of history, art, and culture. So we are super excited about this. I'm going to try to kick it off today by just allowing each of our lovely guests to introduce themselves, their organization, and then just tell us why you want to participate or why you're participating in Midlands Gives. So a little bit about your organization and why you're participating in Midlands Gives. And if you don't mind, I'll just introduce you in the order that's on my paper. How about that? So we're going to start with Annie Rivers with Sumter County Museum. Annie, tell us, give us the scoop.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Annie Rivers, the Executive Director of the Sumter County Museum, and we're excited to participate in Midlands Gives. We have done it every year since it started, and it's fun to see more nonprofits participating every year, particularly in Sumter. So we're excited to be a part of that and just increase visibility and awareness of the Sumter County Museum. You know, we're not a singular building. We have multiple facilities on our campus, and we are growing. So we're excited to raise funds to support that effort.
That's great. Thank you so much. We're delighted for you to be here.
Thank you.
And also, I would love now to introduce Sumner Bender with the Nickelodeon,
Yes.
the Nick as we call it.
It is. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. So the Nickelodeon is South Carolina's only nonprofit art house cinema, and we're located right downtown on Main Street in Columbia. We've been open since 1979 when it was some college students who were interested in film and would roll in a VCR and watch movies. And it's grown to where we are, you know, just a focal point of Main Street. And we're here to make sure that we can raise awareness for Midlands Gives, and congratulations on 10 years to y'all. We're excited to be a part of it today and have been for every year.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And again, we're just here to serve the community. So we would be nothing without the nonprofits and the donors who make all of this Midlands Gives Day possible. So thank y'all, actually. Next, I'd love to hear from David Dixon from South Carolina State Museum Foundation. David.
Thanks for having us here. So the South Carolina State Museum, just as Midlands Gives, is celebrating an important anniversary this year, our 35th anniversary. Since opening our doors in 1988, we have been welcoming over 5 million visitors to explore our state's natural resources, our rich and diverse history, all the while cultivating and bolstering our state's education through offering free admission through all of South Carolina's students, teachers, and homeschoolers. And we're really just happy to be here and try to tell our state's story, as well as get the word out that South Carolina has a lot to offer.
We certainly do. Thank you so much, David. We're happy to have you. And I'd love to hear from Margie Reese with the One Columbia for Arts and Culture. Hey, Margie.
Hi, thank you. We are your local arts agency in Columbia. Our organization has been here for about 10 years, and our job is to support creativity. So we provide support to all the artists and arts organizations, market the arts to a tourist audience, and manage, commission, and help promote the city's collection of public art that you'll see all around the city. We'll talk more about that later.
Great. Well, I really appreciate y'all all being here. I'm excited, and I'm just honored to be a small part of your day. So how about y'all tell me a little bit about your organization's biggest accomplishment this year, and if there's a way that you've had a chance to, how that may have affected the community abroad, or broadly, or how it may have, you've had a chance to collaborate with another group, or just your accomplishment in itself. So just kind of open that up a little bit. And I'll let people kind of jump in. If you've got something, go ahead and.
I'm happy to start because we've had a very big year over at the Nickelodeon. So this week is the 1-year anniversary of the announcement of me taking over as the new executive director. And I started in June, and we've done so much. So last year around this time, the Nickelodeon had to close for a little while just due to circumstances following the pandemic and trying to re-navigate arts and culture after a change in society. And so since we've opened back up, we're back to a full screening schedule. We've hired full-time staff members. We have 25 employees that work for us, and we show a wide variety of movies that are for entertainment purposes, but also to help spark critical dialogue in our community.
That is great. I mean, I know it's also in a great location. And all of that good jazz too. So I think it's part of our revitalization and excitement downtown.
We're hoping to help people, remind people that life is social. And so even though you can watch a movie at home, sometimes it's better to join your friends and come out, grab some popcorn and watch it together.
Great. That's wonderful. Who else would like to talk about some of their accomplishments this year?
Well, I'll jump in and say how thrilled we are. We're in a transition year this year, searching for a new executive director. So I'm the interim executive director, just keeping things moving forward. But we've also just hired a new public art administrator. Public art is a big part of what we do, making sure that the visual aesthetics of the city is strong, vibrant. And we've just hired a new office manager. Our previous office manager moved on to another job in the arts. And I also think we want to just let everybody know that we're moving into the part of the cultural plan that this One Columbia shepherded for the city a couple of years ago, that's taking more arts out into communities and neighborhoods. And so you'll see our space on Duke Avenue being a co-op space where artists can use the space for rehearsals, for community meetings and events, to make sure that the arts are available and accessible to everyone in town and visible to tourists. So we're just going to keep doing what we do because artists keep making things.
Well, and give us just so that more of our audience knows as well, an example of some of the art that you're speaking about that's in the public spaces. Like if you have
Well, funny you should ask. This is a mural that you will see at the library. So our job is to help commission murals, help get artists ready to do mural sculptures. And also one of the newest projects that we facilitated is the sculpture that's being placed at Boyd Island. So the community will know about that area of the city. But, it's our job to try to make sure that there's art in public spaces. And so both of those are projects that are high on our list, but you can go to our website, onecolumbia.com, and there is a directory of public art in the city and the artists and the year it was commissioned. And so you can schedule your own art walk for your family or for visitors coming in to the city.
That's great. Thank you so much. Annie or David, do y'all want to talk about some of your accomplishments of your organization this year?
Sure, I'll jump in. So we are finally getting back into the groove of things since COVID, and excited to see school groups coming back to the museum. Our regular visitation is increasing, and we have also hired 3 new staff members, totally new positions over the past year. So that will help us, better reach our community, do more programs, get into the schools. We're excited about where we're growing. We also recently did a whole new strategic plan. So we're excited to use that and move forward and increase our reach.
That's great. Strategic plans are no joke either. They take a lot,
Yes.
but they're good guideposts. So that's good. Great for y'all. Thank you. David, what would you like to share?
Absolutely. To echo your point, it's really starting to get busy again here at the museum, which is always great. But I apologize for any of the noise. We have a lot of school groups coming on through, and it's so great to see these school groups returning to the State Museum because they're making connections here that they really haven't been able to do in their classrooms. And we are so happy to have them coming back in force and bringing back those public programs as well so we can reach really every corner of the state. Within the last year, I think one thing that we're really proud of, though, is the reintroduction of our accessibility morning events. Since returning last fall, these events offered monthly have pretty much opened the museum to those that might need to explore the museum at a quieter pace. And these programs are really for those that might need sensory issues or have sensory issues or need a disability adapted experience at the museum. And we've been incredibly thankful for all of our partners for assisting us with this because we do want to provide the best possible experience to not just them, but all communities throughout South Carolina.
That's great. Well, I have to say, you are looking at a survivor of spending the night in the museum with a group of Girl Scouts, a brownie troop, pre-COVID, somewhere where there's lots of like parts of transportation and
Oh yeah,
right there.
third floor. Third floor.
I might have stayed there. It was a great experience. They had a great time. We'll leave all the details there in 2018 or whatever that was. But I'm glad to know that you're open about that again. Go ahead.
The Girl Scouts are welcome to come to the Nick and do a spend the night and watch some movies if they want to. So just let us know.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to have some of the, integrate all the things together. It would be kind of fun. Y'all could have a progressive entertainment night. Maybe actually start with the kids in Sumter, load them up after they've had a tour of the museum there, and then come all the way through town looking and appreciating all the public art, and then hitting the Nick for a nice movie, and heading to the museum for a little tour and excitement, and then spending the night in an assortment of places because you might need that with that many kids, And then the chaperones might enjoy a different space altogether. Just saying.
Get going.
You're talking to a bunch of creatives here, so don't drop an idea,
Hey, listen, collaboration's key, right?
The grants are already writing themselves.
Absolutely. And one of the greatest assets that we have in our artists and teaching artists who connect the dots between these experiences and give kids a chance to tell their stories and write poetry about what they've seen. So all the arts groups in the city, I hope they're all paying attention and participating in Midlands Gives because they're all worthy of our support. Whether it's a symphony or the museum or the ballet companies here, all the arts belong to all the people, and we want to make sure that we're celebrating all the creatives in our city.
Yeah, and I would say even outside of our city, in our region, the entire Midlands, we've got great spots, like you said, in Sumter, we've got Newberry, we've got all sorts of other great, wonderful places all throughout the region that, again, one of your artists that you support in Columbia could jump on the tour bus and we can go to all the places. And,
oh my goodness.
But I mean, I think this could be fun. I could see people having birthday parties. I'm just, age 30, you're going to take the party bus and do the art tour. I mean, I think that would be fun.
That's great.
Get some Nick popcorn and
yeah.
going. So,
let's not forget the seniors in our community, like me too, who want to participate in creativity and make things. So every museum and theater company in town has an audience. And we're so excited that people are learning about us through this Midlands Gives campaign.
Great.
You can't spell party without art. So
yeah, that's exactly right. It is, and it's fun, and and part of, I think someone mentioned that, we're coming back, from COVID. We're trying to see each other. I think Sumner, you might have mentioned this. We're meant to be together. We're meant to be community beings. Yes. Even the most introverted human needs connection, and it can't always be from a screen. And we can appreciate things from a screen, but boy, you do have to have that connecting point. And I'm excited to know how y'all can be creative together. And I mean, if there's something that does bubble up from this, or you have other folks that you work with, like call us at the Community Foundation and tell us, because we love this. And it would be really
she also
fun
wants
to
the
kind of
commission,
tour it.
probably.
What?
I want to mention as well. You're the one that started all this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
We'll put your name on the basket.
yeah. Well, again, y'all just let us know, and we'll tout the success of everybody working together. And there is a lot of just exciting things in each community in the area. So I'm glad we can share them. I want to know. I would love to know some of, and maybe y'all could talk collaboratively about this with each other. You could kind of help each other talk about some of the trends that you see in art, history, culture throughout the region, but also nationally. Whatever you want to talk about that. I mean, of course, locally would be helpful, but any trends that we should be aware of, or some exciting things on the horizon.
Well, I think collaboration is the key to what you mentioned here, because for somewhere like the Nick being on Main Street, we're very lucky because we're in walking distance from a lot of neighborhoods. There's a lot of restaurants around. So it's all going back to the shared creative experience where you go out for a night, you have dinner at one of the local restaurants, then you come see a movie, and then maybe you go to a bar afterwards for a cocktail. And you can walk down to the museum right down the street. And all of that sort of, when you put that all together, it becomes a really, really special night and remember. And I think that's what's really exciting about the trends in the arts right now, is because we are recognizing that we have to rely on each other and we can't just be islands amongst ourselves. So we have to find the people who are willing to have these partnerships and really create a special night, a special experience. And so I love hearing y'all talk about the students, because we have students sometimes come and watch films here and field trips and things of that nature. So collabing with you guys on those field trips would just be amazing. And I look forward to talking more about some partnerships.
And I want to piggyback on that too. Another trend that involves young people is thinking about the next generation of people that work in the arts. And so we are accustomed to seeing the performers in front of the stage, seeing the exhibition once it's hung. But we're also seeing, and One Columbia is launching this summer, a technical theater training program for high school kids. We want to think about jobs in the arts and to reinforce how the arts contribute to the economic health of a city. So teaching kids, all kids have that new wiring system in their head. They can use technology. So we want to take them into the world of technical theater so that they not only can enhance the productions that all the arts groups in town and in the region are doing, but they can also earn a living as a lighting designer or a set designer or an engineer, et cetera. So I think focusing in on young people and helping them think about the tactical parts of the arts, so that they can also consider that if they can get a job in Columbia, we'll be able to keep the talent in our region, as opposed to seeing, really talented kids leaving home and setting their sights elsewhere. So I think preparing young people to take over is a huge part of what this kind of work does for us.
Well, and we're one of the more livable cities, and we have our challenges, but we have our high points too in the region. Yeah. So on certain elements of affordability and then like you said, the public art, and then all the opportunities to kind of collaborate and enjoy different regions very easily is kind of exciting. So what other trends do y'all see? Maybe Annie, David, just to kind of weigh in, and it could be just trends in your area, trends in your field specifically.
Of course, I think one thing that we're seeing a lot, and I think a lot of others are seeing now, is just the absolute wide expanse of artists in South Carolina and getting those stories told. Because when people come to museums, they expect to see these great works of art, and they think that they came from all the way across Europe or New York or Los Angeles. And a lot of times, I know the Columbia Museum of Art and ourselves, we show South Carolina artists and we tell South Carolina artists stories. And I think others have said it as well, and other organizations that highlight these stories is incredibly beneficial to younger generations, as well as just all of South Carolina as a whole in the Midlands, to show just the amount of art being made in South Carolina and showing that it is possible to become an artist here and stay here as well.
Some beautiful art. Great, thank you. I think that's a great trend to know to really highlight. Annie, how about you?
So I think the biggest thing in Sumter is that we are really working towards promoting all that we have. There's a lot of great arts and culture opportunities in the community, but even our residents aren't really aware of that. So we've been trying to push that, and with that, we've been working together. You know, there's a great gallery of art in Sumter, the Sumter Little Theater, the Sumter Opera House, and they're always doing programs for the community, programs for schools, and we really want to push that. And so, hey, you don't have to go to Columbia. There are some wonderful things that you guys are doing, and definitely go check those out. But there's a lot in Sumter as well that we have to offer. A few years ago, the Sumter Inspire Festival started, which is a celebration of arts and food in Sumter. So the museum, the Little Theater, the art gallery participate, and it gives people an opportunity to see what's going on.
Well, I think it's a really good opportunity for people in different areas of the Midlands to go to Sumter and to different communities. It's kind of almost feels like a road trip. And the same with those in the communities that are not in Columbia to come into Columbia and to appreciate the things that are available there as a road trip. And it's just kind of fun, and it's really not a hard drive. I mean, if you live in Atlanta, this is like the next neighborhood over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with traffic, you could literally be a couple streets over, right? And this is an easy pop on, if you're heading out of Columbia, Garner's Ferry Road, if you're popping out of Sumter Highway or whatever you want to call it. And then the same with like the other communities like, Newberry, Orangeburg. I mean, there's, Sumter to Newberry is not hard. There's lots of places to collaborate on different opportunities. And I think it would be fun to explore, some sort of progressive type of, whether it's the food and culture or or all the things. So it could be really fun. I mean, I'm always up for a little road trip, and that's easy. That's easy to do, right? So we've all driven through Atlanta. We all know the analogy. We don't have to go to DC. we're already there, okay?
That's right.
So
I just want to remind your audience too, if I may,
sure,
that it's also being involved in the arts also involves being a participant. And so just to encourage people, I want to make sure that you know that there's an opportunity for you to get your inner self ready to be a performer, to be on stage, and to participate in some of the great performances that are happening in our region, in the Midlands region. So join us.
I love it. I love it. I expect maybe a little a cappella situation going on here in a minute, Margie. Get ready.
Just a minute. Just give me a minute.
All right, so let me ask you this. Today we're raising, we are already up to 2.4. I can hardly stand it. Again, 11:27. I don't know if I can take this much excitement. So with that, what are you going to do with your unrestricted money that gives you some flexible dollars that you're raising today from Midlands Gives? What are you going to do with it? Tell us. Tell your audience. Support us. This is what we want to do.
Yeah, so one of the most important things about art is that art stays affordable. And I think we've seen, the trend, we're talking about trends, and the trends in society is that everything is getting more expensive, right? So I think if we can raise external revenue for our organization, it's going to help us keep the costs of our movies and our concessions low so that people can come see that, and it's not cost prohibitive. So that's something we're really excited about, is using any outside revenue that we can receive to help maintain our low ticket prices.
That's great. That's great. All right, come on. Who else?
We want to get more artists into neighborhoods, more kids involved in the arts where they live. Kids do other things besides go to school. And summer is coming, and we want to make sure that kids have a chance to explore creativity. And I think that's our priority for this summer.
Well, and art provides an outlet that's healthy risk taking. You're putting your stuff out there, you're still pushing yourself out there, but it's healthy. So it's a good thing. All right, Annie, David, tell us what you're going to do with the money.
Well, I mentioned, that we're not just a singular building. We have the 1916 Williams Bryce House, our Heritage Education Center, a collection of houses that represent the Carolina Backcountry Homestead, and our Temple Sinai Jewish History Center. But we're actually working on plans right now to develop a new facility in addition to those that will house some more local history exhibits, military exhibits, and better preserve our collections. So we plan to use the funding that's raised through Midlands Gives to support those expansion efforts.
That's wonderful. Great.
Absolutely. And on our 35th anniversary at the State Museum, we want to just continue what we've been doing over the past several decades and also just look to the future. We have a very expansive new project that we're already beginning to talk about and look forward to the future. And we really just want to invite South Carolina to come in and contributing to this bold future so we can continue to tell the stories of South Carolina, share those stories, foster innovation, and inspire the next generation of students, leaders, scientists, artists, you name it.
That's great. Well, I am excited. It was such an honor to be with y'all here today. Would y'all like to listen to some of the prize winners that we have just I've just been alerted of? Oh my goodness, hot off the press. Okay. The Get Up and Give Prize by Schmoyer and Company. So the Get Up and Give Prize by Schmoyer and Company, $2,000 goes to Cardinal Newman School. Woo, we're gonna do all this excitement. Yay, congratulations, Cardinal Newman. Yay. All right, and then CCCF #Frenzy Prize by South State Bank. It's $1,000 and it's Sunset Feline Inc. Woo! All right, this is very exciting too. We have a Cheerful Giver Prize. This is hold the fort here. $10,000. You heard me right. $10,000, celebrating the 10 years, and they chose from a collection of those that have received grants over the last 10 years that were their grant recipients from that. So at the 9 a.m. Cheerful Giver Prize was Mission Lexington. Woohoo! Another $10,000 prize at 10 a.m. is awarded to Able SC.
Oh, yay!
Congratulations. And then, doing all sorts of things. And then at 11 a.m., the Therapy Place. $10,000 to the Therapy Place from Cheerful Giver. We're so grateful, Cheerful Giver. And as you may know, Cheerful Givers are an anonymous donor who is so gracious in celebrating all these wonderful nonprofits. And the Cheerful Giver is very, very generous, along with these wonderful other companies and organizations that have walked alongside to offer these wonderful prizes to help everybody keep the excitement going and help the nonprofits. So appreciate your time today. Look forward to seeing some of these road trips that y'all are going to put together and things to serve everyone from the students to the retirees. And look forward to seeing you another time soon. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Everybody.
Bye.
Oh, we'll be right back. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi there. Oh. Okay. You about ready? All right. Yay. We're going to announce our Aflac Power Hour number 2, $2,000 each. $2,000 each. Our small size recipient is the Rainy Day Fund. Woohoo! Congratulations. Oh, excuse me. Our medium size is St. Thomas More. Yay! Congratulations. And a large is St. Peter's Catholic School. Congratulations, St. Peter's. And y'all have a great next little bit. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks again. We'll be right back. Sorry, though.
on 1, 2, 3.
Hello, welcome back. We're so excited to have Elizabeth Johnson here with Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. Woo! Pom-poms, a little action here.
Happy to be here again, as always.
Yes.
It's like a reunion in person this time.
Yes, and Elizabeth and I, full disclosure, have known each other a long time. We won't say how long, but we'll let you guess. So, it's a special treat to be able to work with Elizabeth as always. And Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina is such a wonderful supporter of the Community Foundation as well as our community at large. So we're grateful to have her representing her great company. So to kick it off, though, Elizabeth, I'd love to ask you a few questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. One, Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina has been just a wonderful supporter of the Community Foundation and Midlands Gives for many, many years, but especially these last 10 years of Midlands Gives. Why has this partnership and investment meant much to you?
Yeah, we have had a relationship with Central Carolina Community Foundation. Really, I think our records go back to 1989, which is amazing, and I'm sure there are records that are probably further than that I haven't been able to find in the office. And then really engage with you all with Midlands Gives really for the last 10 years. And I think, you talk a lot about allowing everybody to be a philanthropist. And I think that is so ingrained with our culture at Blue Cross. We've been a big supporter of the community for many years. This is our 75th, we're approaching 76 years in South Carolina. Right. And, throughout that time period, our employees are given many different opportunities. The company is obviously very supportive of the community, but our employees also have a lot of opportunities to do the same, to support countless nonprofit organizations year round. So, I think your goals and what you do are so in line with what we do as an organization. So it makes absolute sense for us to be a fit. And I think the work that y'all do with potential funders, the resources you provide, the guidance you provide, even to me, working with different nonprofits has been like immeasurable. You all are a go-to that I go to, a resource that I utilize as much as I can whenever I have questions when it comes around to funding.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, give us an update. What's the latest and greatest of Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina in the Midlands? Give us the latest.
The latest and greatest.
Update us. What we need to know.
There is just so much going on, and my portion of the company is a small portion in corporate philanthropy. But, like I said, this is our 76th year of operating in South Carolina. We've got we're the only South Carolina-based insurance company that is operating. We are one of the larger employers in the state. We've got a wide network of providers and hospitals that our members have access to. We've got plans that really are available to a variety of different income levels. So lots of resources to support the community. And then, of course, supporting numerous nonprofit organizations across the state. But one thing I do want to plug is it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes. And of course, that is something that we as a company, it's very important for us to provide resources and information to our members and to the general public. So if you look on our social media channels, we've got a lot of helpful tips that our medical directors are putting out there and sharing with people just how important it is to take care of your mental health needs. I was at an event yesterday, and we're at one of the colleges. Kids are getting ready to graduate now. I think one of the great things that we offer at Blue Cross, we have a really stellar internship program. So obviously, if you're graduating, we've got openings too. But if you're a rising upperclassman, we've got a really robust internship program that kind of it almost begins as soon as the summer program ends. So keep your eyes out for information because we're always looking for great talent to add to Blue Cross.
So if I were a student and I were interested, where would I start to look?
You can look on our website, look under our HR section, and it should be able to direct you to those resources. And then worst case scenario, if you can't find it there, send an email to community.relations@bcbssc.com, and we can make sure that it gets to that right area.
And I wanted to also draw their attention to this great tips you were talking about, mental health tips, if there's a general area of your website that you would recommend, or just maybe is there a search bar that you could do mental health?
Right, you could definitely plug that into the search bar. But yeah, like I said, on social media, that really is probably a great place that you can go. I think definitely Instagram and LinkedIn, there are a lot of resources and a lot of information that our medical directors share. So that would probably be a good first step for you to look at those. I will do another plug. Our foundation is getting ready to celebrate its 20th anniversary. started in 2003. And I work on the corporate giving side, but we also have a foundation that addresses kind of those complex health challenges. And one of the things that we've really been pushing, we actually started as COVID was happening and kind of curtailed it a little bit. The program, they were still working behind the scenes, but Diabetes Free SC. We know how prevalent diabetes is in our state, how many people are impacted by the condition. And so this program is really heavily focused on educating and providing resources, targeting definitely mothers. We know how gestational diabetes can affect a mother or the newborn, and then obviously we know a lot of children that end up with type 1 and type 2 diabetes is becoming more and more prevalent. So this is a program that we're really excited about. We've got a new campaign that we're going to be rolling out some communications around that.
Yeah, and I mean, I firsthand know about, my mother is a type 1 diabetic, and she's, you would never know it. She has a vibrant, wonderful, very engaging,
Right.
active life. And I think if it's well managed and people have the tools, you can see how it works really well. I just think it's something that people can absolutely live life to the fullest. And so, but with the right tools that you're providing,
Right.
which is great and allows more of our community to be able to appreciate that.
Absolutely. And our medical team, they really work very hard with members that have chronic conditions in funneling them to additional resources. Primary care doctors are so busy.
Yes.
There's so much on their plate, and we can be an additional resource. We've got educators, clinical educators that can help you navigate the healthcare system if you are dealing with chronic issues, can kind of guide you and provide you additional resources too. So for our members, we really, we try to do a lot to kind of help them through their healthcare journey.
That's great. That's wonderful. Would you like to share any stories about how Blue Cross Blue Shield has impacted the community through your giving?
Absolutely. I think, I've got to look at my sheet here because I have some notes. In 2022, we had 7,625 employees volunteer and or donate 20,000 hours to nonprofits, raising over $2.5 million, and that's just employees. So that is, it really is. I mean, it's an incredible story when you look at how philanthropic our employees are, and really that stems from our leadership, from our management being so supportive. I think a program like Midlands Gives is a great entree for organizations, individuals, really anybody in the community to look and see where those needs are, find those things that appeal to you and support. I think our relationships with many nonprofits run very deep because, again, we have been in this community for so long. We've had relationships with organizations for 30, 40 years. And so, the stories that you hear about what Blue Cross is doing now, it's not a new phenomenon. It's something that has been ingrained in our culture. I think about when I started at Blue Cross, September 11th, employees were doing numerous things to support, and it's continued with Hurricane Katrina, the floods, disasters, the Emmanuel 9 funding that our employees gave is really phenomenal. So, Blue Cross is just, we really understand our role of serving our community.
And then, of course, you have the foundation wing,
Right.
Part that also formalizes some of that support with different dollars. So that's really just additional buckets that you're adding to, in addition to the individual
Absolutely.
buckets that your employees are doing, and at all levels. Like, we're going to be talking a little bit about leadership and how leadership really ignites that excitement.
Right.
I don't know if you remember this, but I go back to when I worked for Newberry College way back in the day, and I know that the foundation gave Newberry College, I think it was a $200,000 grant to help start its nursing program. I don't know if you remember that.
Right,
so that's
right.
kind of amazing to invest in you also have this ability to invest in places that are up and coming, which is it's a wonderful testament to your being able to see
Right.
opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Mixing
think
the business and the philanthropy.
Right, the nursing programs, the free medical clinics, those were
Yes.
some of the things we did in our early days. So it's, we're constantly looking and honing in on those key areas that are going to make a long-term difference in our community.
Yeah, and exactly, and the caretakers that we need so
Right.
many of. So
Right.
it's wonderful. Describe to our viewers the why and how Blue Cross Blue Shield has made philanthropy a giving priority and giving a priority?
Well, I think, like I said, I think, we have had leadership. We've had some leadership changes over the last several years at our executive CEO level, but the constant has been that support. The constant has been the understanding that we have a role to play. We obviously, our priority is serving our members, serving their health and wellness needs, and then beyond that is looking at those most vulnerable communities. What can we do? What can we do to improve those communities? We want South Carolina to be a great place for everybody, for our employees, for our residents, for everybody. So I think not being afraid too to listen to our employees. There are some things we've done that have been really employee-led. They'll come to us and say, hey, can we do something around this issue? I think anytime, unfortunately, there's like some sort of natural disaster or some, catastrophic event that occurs, I've got emails coming into my inbox saying, hey, how can we support? How can we help?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, and I think, like you said, that you do proactive, you also do reactive.
Right.
Broadly, and because it's part of the culture, I think
Right.
that y'all jump in because you also have the structure in place to do that, and that's just a testament to the culture. And that's
Right.
good. We all thank you
Right.
for that.
Yeah.
So you've talked about this a little bit, but I guess encouraging your employees to give back to the community, from your leadership to those that keep the lights on, all the things. Like, tell us a little bit about how you encourage.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the great things we did a couple weeks ago was our day of service.
Oh, yes.
And you talk about leadership. We had every level of employee, from leaders to to the frontline workers, volunteering, with about 26 different nonprofit organizations. As soon as we put out the email, saying this event, this volunteer day was happening, we had like 200 people registered like within an hour. Ended up just over 400 employees here in the Columbia area, Florence, Greenville, and Surfside. And I think providing them with opportunities to do programs, to do volunteer service like that, I think helps educate them about all the different needs that exist in the community. And we also try to cater it for those people that are passionate about animals. They get to do something with a specific organization, or that mental health is important to them, or being outside and building a habitat home. We're doing a project with One Columbia where we're going to be, painting, helping touch up a mural, which is very unique, and we've never done anything like that before. But we're really excited about
Bold help right there.
that is. So we try to kind of look and see where our employees' interests lay, and try as much as we can to kind of cater to those interests. Just to make sure that we're appealing to everybody.
Well, so, Chris, we might want to queue up some of those leadership examples here. And since we've just talked about how Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina encourages employees to give back, we heard Elizabeth talk about how it's very from the top leadership to everyone that is helping in every way at the company. Perhaps we could have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about some of the leaders who are involved in some board service, which likens us to your prize.
Sure.
And Chris, you can let us know if now's a good time, or we can come circle back. Oh, it must be a good time.
It must be a good time. So Tiffany Freeman, Halston. Tiffany just got married, so congratulations to Tiffany. We're very excited for her. She's a former prosecutor. She works in our public affairs area. And I think just having that background, I think, was one of the things that appealed to her, to be an advocate for, probably particularly for pathways to healing. Working with victims of domestic violence, I think it was a priority. It was a place that she felt called to provide assistance to. And then she's also on the SC Thrive board. So, we're excited to kind of profile Tiffany and the work that she does.
Great.
Yeah.
Who's next, Chris?
So Kristen, I actually stumbled on finding information about Kristen. I was looking at your Midlands Gives website because I was looking for some different employees to profile. And I'm familiar with the Harriet Hancock Center. I know Matthew Butler, who's their interim executive director. And I was so thrilled and excited to see that Kristen was part of this board. I think, again, I think people have very personal reasons for wanting to work with different organizations. And it's definitely a passion of hers, and she's been involved with them for a good number of years. I kind of talked to Matthew too, and he was excited, very excited to have her as part of his team.
That's great. That's great, Chris.
Yeah.
All right. I think we might have two more folks. There we go. There we go.
So Vida Jennings, Vida and I, we actually go way back.
Okay, tell us.
I worked for the Girl Scouts prior to
yes,
coming to Blue
yes.
Cross. That's probably
so
where I
fun,
met you
yes.
for the first time, I think.
right.
And you know, we kind of followed each other to Blue Cross, which is great. But Vida, I think, has been such an advocate for young women and leadership and development. So I think it's a natural fit that she found a home with the Girl Scouts. You know, she's an incredible speaker too. She's done a lot of different work with Blue Cross and their Toastmasters clubs. I think they still have that. And then again, free medical clinic. I think just really realizing, you know, the support that she can give to that organization through all her years of volunteering with different groups.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Chris? All right.
Okay, and the last one is Divya. Divya actually reached out to me. She reached out to me a couple of years ago, and she said she was interested in board service. So if there are any employees watching this that are interested in board service, please, you know, reach out to the community relations staff, because we can help connect you to different organizations. But she was just looking, you know, she had time and talents to lend to a nonprofit, and we talked about it, several different organizations, and she landed on Sister Care, and you know, they've been thrilled to have her as part of their board.
Yeah, that is wonderful. This is kind of demonstrates how your
Right.
employees are engaged with nonprofits in the community. If you've got any, I think these are the stories that you're sharing, but if you've got any others you wanted to touch on, you let me know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, these are just for
yeah.
employees, and
Yes.
you know, the employees that you've featured in the past, you know, they're still heavily involved with their board, and I know there are countless employees that sometimes we don't even know about. We kind of stumble on their information, that are volunteering in a variety of different capacities with organizations. So it really is, you know, from the top level down, there is engagement and excitement about supporting a
And
community.
I know you serve on boards, and I've worked with you over the years on
Right.
different boards. I mean, in all areas, you're not just in one area, you're actually living and walking as well. too.
Right,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
How about sharing any ideas or suggestions for increasing philanthropy
Right.
throughout the Midlands through the lens of Blue Cross Blue Shield? I mean, you have so much experience personally, but also professionally in this environment. Share some ideas for increasing philanthropy.
Right.
Building up philanthropy.
You know, I think, you know, having, you know, finding ways to engage with your employees, I think is really important. Finding out where their interests lie. I think, you know, we have a lot of younger folks that are working that are coming into the workplace now. And, you know, right off the bat, they want to know, how can I serve? How do y'all serve? Who do you support? They want to figure out where they fit into the organization. So it's really important, I think, to allow that flexibility for employees at any level to have a voice in supporting their community. One of the things we do with our campaigns, and I'll do a quick shout out to my two team members, Michaela Chiambati and Katie Graham. One of the things that we try to do is when we're running a campaign, we'll do a lot of wraparound events to really just kind of engage people in a different way in getting involved. You know, we've done some work. We did some work with one of the homeless shelters, and we collaborated with the library because they have an empathy lab. And I think you all have showcased the empathy lab. That's probably where we heard about it the first time. So it was a great way for people to kind of put themselves in the shoes of somebody that had recently become homeless. We've had virtual cooking classes when we've done our campaigns for Harvest Hope.
So creative and fun,
Yeah,
too. I mean, it brings perspective.
Exactly. We partnered with our behavioral health experts to talk about the importance of mental health and wellness. We did a seminar and had about 300 employees that tuned in to listen, and collaborated with other organizations that also provide resources around you know, mental health awareness. So whenever we can, we're finding ways to kind of support nonprofit organizations in a very holistic way. We provide the monetary support, the volunteer support, and then also the education. We just try to be as creative as we can in reaching as many people as we can.
Well, it sounds like you're very collaborative, and
Absolutely.
we know this, but it's nice to note that that's a good quality.
Right, right. And I'll just put in another plug for Midlands Gives. I think,
thank
you know, if you can encourage your employees to participate, I mean, we really, our legwork for having such a strong campaign, I think we're probably at $25,000 from Blue Cross
Earlier,
employees.
You're already over 30.
Or over 30, which is fantastic, is really an email out to our employees, the day before. And they've been giving since last week, so they kind of already know.
Yeah.
They kind of know the spiel, but it's a really easy way, and it's a very user-friendly way. Employees can give to whichever organization they are passionate about, and I think, you guys have an incredible tool that can serve so many.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you used the tool.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get to these prizes. So, of course, we have the Blue Cross Blue Shield South Carolina Board of Leadership Prize, $1,000, and they've given it to 10
different organizations.
So we'll clap again first.
I should grab
then
mine.
I'm going to let Elizabeth have the privilege of announcing these 10 wonderful winners.
Yes, super excited about this, as always. So we've got 10 winners. Should I do like in reality shows where
Yes,
there's
do it.
the dun dun and
Yeah,
no.
A little cheer for whatever.
No, I don't want to go down that road. So the first winner is Sumter County Museum.
Yay.
Thrilled for them. Ivy Heritage Foundation of Irmo.
Yay.
Footsteps to Success. Majestic Wings Rescue. The Vision Institute of South Carolina. Delta House. Cardinal Newman School. Yay. Richland Library Friends and Foundation. We have some supporters in here for all of them. Richland County First Steps to School Readiness. It is awesome. And finally, Homeless No More. So congratulations to all the winners. We're thrilled. We're thrilled that y'all won this prize. We're very excited for what you can do.
Well, and thank you and Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina for making it possible. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership and how you demonstrate it personally and through your team. And we're so grateful for your time today.
Thank
you
you.
for making time for us too, Elizabeth.
I appreciate
We're
it, Michelle.
grateful.
Thank you. I love being here.
And we'll be back in 5 minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute, apparently.
The Central Carolina Community Foundation thanks the following In Good Company businesses for supporting Midlands Gives. Our presenting partner is Dominion Energy. Our champions are AFLAC and Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. Our supporters are Truist and Southeastern Freight Lines. Our patrons are Schmoyer & Company LLC, South State Bank, and Nelson Mullins. Our members are Guru, Synovus, and First Reliance Bank. And our media partners are WACH Fox 57, WLTX 19, WIS News 10, ABC Columbia, Grace Outdoor, Lamar, Alpha Media, The State, Free Times, and Cola Today.
Hello, we're here, we're back, we're live. Welcome everyone. We just had a wonderful conversation with Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina and heard about their incredible employees and how generous they are, as well as their board leadership prize. So congratulations to the 10 organizations who received that. We just passed 2.5 million. How exciting. Yay.
That's great.
And it's fun that you guys are on here with us to share that. And before we get into our conversation with our latest round of nonprofits, I did want to introduce to everyone Chantrell Mitchell. I'm not sure if you had a chance to say hello to her just yet. She is our Community Investment Associate, and guess what? She is the mastermind behind Midlands Gives. So say hello.
Hello, everyone.
So before we start our interview, we have one more prize to announce. I'll let Chantrell do that.
All right, we have the Guru Anniversary Prize, and that will be awarded to Harvest Hope Food Bank. So yay, congratulations.
All right, so that was for, tell me what that prize was for again exactly, just so we can all remember. For the Guru Anniversary Prize was for the organization that received the 10,000th gift. So that's a fun one that came through, right close to our 2.5 million as well. So now we're going to spend a little bit of time talking to organizations that I kind of just called you all support services. So you all are some of my favorite kinds of nonprofits because you do the kind of, there's like little niche work that people are like, oh, did you know that there is an organization that does something for this? And so I kind of thought of you all, and I wanted to make sure that the Midlands in general knew about you and the work that you're doing, because I think sometimes you're the unsung heroes that are really kind of filling in the gaps that some of our other organizations just haven't had an opportunity to do. So I do want to chat for a minute, want to make sure we have a chance to introduce ourselves. We have folks here from Midlands Fatherhood Coalition, Eleanor Boyd, and Power and Changing, Miss Tony Crawford, and then also South Carolina Legal Services with Sally Ingalls. So we're going to get a chance for you all to go around, and what I'd like for you to do is to tell us a little bit about your organization, your mission, the work that you're doing, just so that our viewers have an opportunity to learn about you a little bit. So let's start with Eleanor.
Well, thanks for having us, Fatherhood Coalition here. The mission of the Father Coalition is to help fathers engage in the positive support of their children, as well as to promote fatherhood in the community. And fatherhood is very important because when fathers are engaged in the lives of their children, they are 3 times less likely to live in poverty, and they're also much more likely to have the brighter futures that we all want children to have in the community.
So yeah, we don't hear sometimes as much about our fathers, do we? We often hear about supporting our moms, and we sometimes forget the role and the impact that our dads have on families and family stability and family success. And so that's great that we have an organization that does support fathers. And Eleanor, tell us what counties you all are located in.
So the way that we support fathers is we have, first of all, intervention specialists.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
Hey, everybody. We can actually see you now, and hopefully you can see us and hear us. So to circle back, because I want to make sure we give enough time for Sally to let me, I had one question for you. Are there top issues that we're seeing that you all are kind of seeing as needing representation from you all? What sort of are the trends?
So let me start by saying that we cover a wide range of legal topics. We were just talking about that in the room before we came back in. We were all changing contact information because we were talking about how much we can really all work together to support people. So we cover all civil legal issues that's not criminal. So housing, education, family law, expungements, pardons. I mean, and we do. One of our big focuses recently has definitely give more to make sure we can help people stay in their homes as much as possible. So that's been a big one that's been a focus for us in the past few months, is making sure people have access to the legal representation, sometimes the financial assistance through other organizations like SC Housing, making sure that people have access to resources and information and knowledge just in their home as much as possible.
Well, it does my heart good to hear that you say you all are sharing information. So that's great, because a lot of you are serving the same people and you realize that you need each other's services. So that's wonderful. And I did want to welcome Jackie, coming from Family Connection of South Carolina. And Jackie, before you got in the room, we kind of talked about the fact that this group here that we've assembled, I kind of termed, our safety net. You all sort of do niche services that a lot of people just don't know are available. And it's not until I'm talking to people in the community and I say, oh, actually there's a group that can help you. And Family Connection is one of those groups that I mentioned to people. And so tell us a little bit about you all and the work you're doing.
Sure. Are you able to hear me now?
I am, yep.
We are.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I thank you for telling people the good news about Family Connection. We serve families who have a child with a disability or a chronic health condition from birth through age 26. And our focus areas, our 3 primary focus areas include parent-to-parent support. So if receives an unexpected diagnosis, we match them with another family who may have a similar experience but might be further along in their journey. And they have that one-on-one opportunity to talk. It might be one time or it could be ongoing. We have some parent-to-parent matches who've had a 25-year relationship. So that's one area of support. And then we also get the complex medical system with application and also assist with education plans, and will attend school meetings with family and health care for support and services for their children are carried out in the school system.
That's great. So I love the idea of connecting families with other families, right? Someone who's sort of walked that path before and understands what you're going through, that you can that can help you navigate some of that. But then also having professional folks who will sit with you in those meetings, so you know your rights and what you could be asking for, and what your child, your student needs, and what's realistic, right? So I think that's wonderful that you all provide that for others. Yeah. So one of the things I kind of asked groups in some of the other interviews is what are y'all seeing as sort of the trend? What's on the horizon? What's something big that you all are looking for in your respective areas that you're saying, this is something we're really trying to focus on this year. If we could get over this hump, or if we could get this issue passed, or more, shine more light on whatever this issue you all are looking at this year in your work. And I'll let Tony start.
For shortages of everything. Since the beginning of the pandemic on throughout, there's a lot of shortages. Every baby notice haven't been able to get in. So a lot of formula, a lot of families, and not just families that need public assistance, just to anybody who needs it, because it's a shortage across the board for everybody. So the shortages is the biggest thing that we noticed, that we've been trying to focus on, and making sure that families can feed their babies.
Yeah. It was such a time when during that shortage. I mean, we had staff members who literally were saying, "Hey, my grandbaby needs formula. So if you're at the grocery store and you happen to see this brand, will you please pick it up for me?" I mean, that's how desperate it was getting for folks. And I couldn't imagine being a mom at the time, not being sure how I'm going to feed my child next. And the prices were going up, and gouging and all those kind of things. It's a terrifying time to think about having shortages, for sure. All right, Eleanor, is there some things that you all are looking for when it comes to what's on the horizon? What are some issues you're trying to really focus on, maybe trying to get past, we want the public to know about?
Yes, I mean, certainly, I think this may be a thing for all of us, but obviously we want families in safe housing. And with the increases that we've seen with food prices spiking and costs elevating, that's just been additionally already struggling, because most of the fathers pathways, programs that our fathers participate in to get certifications in some of the most needed fields, their income potential. And we continue to look at partners in the community and opportunities that we can. Because it's really discouraging. You're working hard, completing education. You're really trying to be a better person, to be that through your co-parent, and you're doing the right things, and those things aren't happening. That's just something that we're working through with the research right now.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to ask the same question for Sally. I know that with legal services, you probably are looking at, there's certain legislation that I'm sure you all are interested in, but what are some of the issues that you're sort of focusing on over the next year or two?
So obviously, with all of the topics that I could talk forever about,